Uh, okay. But I don't know if I can... I can hear through the mic audio setup. But... Oh, fuck. Why did I wait till the last second to do this? Actually, Norman, try speaking up for a bit.
Test, hello.
Okay, cool, it's picking up. Good,
Okay,
good, good.
it's good. Yeah, good.
I wanted to just make sure that everyone could hear you as well. You can't listen through Discord anymore?
Hmm?
Um, I should be able to listen through Discord, because I can hear Noman. I'm
Yeah.
just asking if you guys can hear them.
We're talking about the stream. Yeah.
Because, Also, I'm glad that Twitch chat works without me having to mess with it. That's good. But yeah, everyone can hear Noman, right? Right? Well, Noman, speak so
Can
that they
people
can
hear
tell.
me?
Yeah. Yeah.
Hello? Can people hear me? Hello?
Well, I want to make sure because, this is not the setup I used last week. So I want to make sure everything's working. Alright. No confirmation, no. Should...
Confirmation.
Can't see the voice chat you're using. What do you mean you can't see it?
There's only 2 people on this episode. It's just me and Hero for today.
You can't see the voice chat. Like in the episode. Oh, also I need to change the title and other things.
Yeah.
Ugh. Yeah, there should be a stage, shouldn't there? Is it not there?
No, it's here.
Am I tripping? No, there's someone in here.
No, someone's in here, yeah. It's here.
Yeah. Man, you're
Oh,
scaring me.
it's here. No, you can join it.
Not
It's
for
here.
me?
Why wouldn't it? It has
Wouldn't it?
permissions for everyone.
That's weird.
That's weird, yeah. That's interesting.
Are you sure you just don't see it in the voice chat drop down? Like, it's right below the text chat. So I have no idea how you could not see it. Oh, no, I digress. Let's just get right into it, Noman.
Yeah. About what we're going to talk about today, basically. Today we're going to talk about, like, why house rules exist in Dokapon Kingdom games, because there are some really, like, very stupid things in Dokapon Kingdom that you can do, and it makes the game, like, super, super unfun, and people don't like it. So it's like, we might not want to do this because it's kind of lame, it's unfun, it just makes the game, like, practically unplayable. So it's kind of a necessary, like, evil to have these house rules.
Actually, Noman, for some reason the stage was private. That's weird. I'm sorry
I
about that, everyone.
I don't know why it is.
Someone edited the channel permissions, and that for some reason the stage was private. That's so
I
weird. I
I don't
apologize
know
about
why.
that.
I don't know why. That is
I love
weird. But you
house
probably
rules, you
know.
damn fools. Yeah.
Yeah.
Think of the
House rules.
think
Yeah.
of the investment in economy.
But yeah, that's basically what we're talking about today. Because, like, man, there's just some stupid things in Dokkan Kingdom, and if there wasn't house rules, I don't think people would play it as much, to be honest. Because stuff you would have to
Wow,
deal with.
okay. I think that there are some house rules that I think add to the game in a lot of good ways.
Yo, I'm not saying nah. I'm just saying, imagine like if Kingdom had like online and you couldn't control house rules. Like, how many games would not finish? Like, people try
Alright,
to
but
break
like,
out new cheese and
you want
stuff.
to know some popular example? Okay, for example, we were playing Monopoly for like a good amount of days, right?
hmm
Could you imagine people like who love all like the 18 book rules of Monopoly house rules if they couldn't do house rules?
Yeah.
like their free $200 parking or
Isn't there
some.
one like you land on Go, you get like $400 or whatever?
Yeah,
There's
pretty
that
much.
one. That was really
There are a
silly.
lot of variations. I think
Mhm.
Kingdom is one of those games where people like variation.
Yeah, and there's nothing wrong with that, but like I'm mostly saying like if there was online for the game, like a theoretical re-release and there's online, and you can't really enforce house rules, people would be like, oh god, like they would just like lose their mind, like trying to finish it when people were just doing ridiculous stuff. But yeah, because it's kind of hard to enforce something like that if you're playing online with randoms. So yeah. But anyways, I digress. So like, I'll probably mostly talk about today like which house rules are common practice to do in Kingdom, because like usually these ones help make the game feel more fun and interesting, because there's just a lot of things that kind of, like I said, ruin the experience.
In every
Or
Dokapon game, I feel like that there are some things that should not be done, like casinos and DX.
honestly, casinos might be necessary because the end game sucks, but like I don't know what to look
Oh
in that
boy,
game
guy gets $4 million. That's crazy.
for. I don't know. We'll have to look into that game more. I'm mostly gonna be talking about Kingdom because
Yeah.
the other Dokkan games haven't been played enough to like argued about house rules yet, so we're not sure about the other Dokkan games. It's mostly gonna be about Kingdom since again, it's been more played and more established in the community, so it's only the right thing to do and it's only fair in my opinion. So yeah. But yeah.
On that note, let's get on with the first.
Yeah.
I hit the done button, didn't I?
What's up?
What do you mean the title is still the title of episode 2? Oh,
Refresh the page.
no, I finally figured out what he pointed. Yep, I forgot to edit that out.
Lol, it's okay.
I'm bad at my job.
Oh, it's alright. It's okay.
There. Ta-da! You, oh fuck. Okay, there we go.
Yeah.
Haha,
It's alright. But yeah. Anyways.
Okay,
Yeah. What's the
first one on the
What's the
top of
first big house rule? Probably one of my favorites, and I think you'll agree with this. Fucking not being able to buy and use charm potions from Tower Ravel actually cringe, to be honest. Very cringe. It was like I think the problem with that is that if you allow that, you kind of just get a never-ending stall fest where the game never ends, because it's like, hey, I'm gonna go get charm potions. I'm gonna charm potions.
I think the game will end, Noman. It's
like the game will end.
It's this really cool trick called if they didn't have a Chapter 7 temple. What you do is you say, hey, fuck off, kill them, use your charm potions, then go complete the game.
Yeah, but like, there's a lot of other factors, like where hell will spawn, and then like who has how many, and just it's just there's just so many factors to think about.
If
with
it spawns in South America, oh boy,
like it did in our game that we haven't finished yet. Yeah, no. So
I'm just saying, if it had spawned in Australia, you had no chance. It would have been like rushed and done.
Yep. But yeah, but I think that house rule is nice because like makes the end game go a little more smooth instead of people like doing charm potion wars for like 20 weeks. Like, I don't have a problem.
It's not expensive, but it's not cheap either. It's really weird.
Yeah. I don't mind, like, if you get it from robberies or item spaces, because it's not guaranteed. That's more random chance. So it's like, okay, good on you that the game kind of pat yourself on the back, but sure, like, go for it kind of thing, because it's not guaranteed, like I said. So yeah. But anyways, like, buying them in bulk like that is just so lame, though. Like, just buy, like, I don't know, 5 or 6 and just come down, or like 3 or 4 or whatever.
You know, like, they were designing a game of hell when they made charm potions right next to the best towns in the continent.
Yeah, like Paramata. It's like, oh, you want fucking Paramata for free without any effort? What was that, $3.5 million town when it's max invested?
I just pay $75,000.
It's pretty crazy how much those towns are worth. Like, you just get like 2 or 3 max invest, and then you're like, oh, you're in second. It might be winning because they're worth so much money. It's actually insane, to be honest.
Alright, but hear me out. When you go into Heck and lose them, you basically cry, because that's what happened to me.
Yeah, and that's kind of a house rule. Oh, we'll get to that in a little bit, but like it's kind of impossible to enforce. That's the problem. Where it's not. There's no strong basis for it yet. Like another one is like when Heck opens up, everyone goes in immediately, but like that's just kind of hard to enforce.
I tried that one. That's
that
hard.
I just think it's impossible to do because either people are not gonna like it or
yeah, it's an impossible to enforce house rule because there will always be that one exception, and it's really about what players are okay with. Now, this is both a pro and a con. Yeah, I need more utility. Yeah.
yeah.
See, because if we were playing in person, if someone were to say, I need more utility, you beat the crap out of them until they end up playing like everyone else. But you can't really, unfortunately, do that online.
Yeah. Yeah, you kind of can't do that. I mean, you can kick them from your parsec, but at that point, it's like,
yeah, like
well,
in the game we were in, I couldn't just tackle you with like the other two players just because I wasn't feeling happy about this issue.
Yeah, it's like, well, you can pick them from parsec, but then it's like, well, the game doesn't finish, I guess. So I don't know if that's the best solution, which it's not.
It's
clearly.
not because it's rage quitting, and that doesn't solve anything. IRL games go hard. IRL games have more skin in the game because last place is just they're both a bully physically because they take their anger out.
But yeah, like that house rule is kind of just impossible to enforce because it's not broad enough in my opinion. Because you could argue, oh, give me like 2 seconds, I need to go rob the store, and then I'm going to like, wait a minute, like Volt said, I need more utility. Let me go rob the store one more time. Wait, actually, I didn't get what I want. Let me go rob the store one more time.
MMA for more information.
Yeah.
I think that Kingdom is definitely one of those games that was designed to be a friendship ender, but in a good way.
Yeah. What's one of your favorite like house rules on that topic? Like, I'll let you go. What's one of your favorite?
Over like Casino. I think Casino only 5K. I think that's one of my favorite rules because it is not fun to everyone else trying to play the RPG game and one person's like gambling gotcha kind of thing.
I want to play gambling. Yeah, it's like I want to play gambling.
I wanna get the Dokapon sword in chapter 2.
Woo! Get broken equipment early.
Gets the equipment. Someone goes Darkling, they lose it. Well, I don't want to play the game anymore. Oh, okay.
Remember when we played our game and we told the one player, I said, I don't give a fuck, just fucking did the big will, and he got a chapter 7, I think, shield, basically. I was like, I don't
Ragnarok shield, yeah.
Yeah. I was like, just fucking do it. I don't give a shit. Like, I don't know why, but I just didn't care. I was like, go for it.
Yeah, and we paid the consequence for that.
Yeah, it's like, I mean, it didn't affect the game too much, in my opinion. Like, it was nice for them, but like, I don't think it affected the game too much. Yeah,
but, like, if they had not gotten the shield and instead gotten like jackpot.
Oh no, it could have been awful. Yeah, I know. I'm just saying.
I don't know if you guys would like Rust in chapter 3 or 2.
No, I would not like Rust. Rust would be pretty lame.
Rust or Strike, bad. What's it gonna be?
50-50. Break your shit or you die, cause Strike. 50-50. That would be
at that point you hit the give up button and they get free levels.
Probably, yeah. It's probably safer to pick that unless you really want to gamble it.
That's why I think that like even though I love Kingdom's like Casino because I think it's cool, I think that like winning unless it's like the last chapter of the game that should be restricted to 5K. Because I don't like the idea of a guy getting a few lucky rolls, then he hits jackpot and wins the game because it forces, especially if they're in the last place position because they spend all their money or something. Like, hoarding last place with that kind of equipment means when every time they go Darkling, it hurts more and more. Because they're going to have all the castles, really good equipment.
Yeah.
And, like, all they need is to have towns. So, one global assault at the end. So, okay. It's like, ugh.
Blech. It's like, hey, you want endgame equipment in Chapter 2? Why not?
Well, it's not farming equipment, Deku. I think, in general, you should only be able to do the 5K.
I do like the idea of getting a class from it, which is why I'm okay with the 5K, because Acrobat, you know.
Because I don't want to like lock Acrobat behind and say ban the casino, but I definitely think the 5K
that's not good. To just
should be the
ban it
maximum limit. No,
yeah,
not only 500K, only 5K.
5K
like, the
to
littlest
get
one.
Like, yeah, basically it's only do that one because you need to do it to get Acrobat, because that's the only way you would get it, basically.
Because I don't like the idea of people like ignoring the game and like trying to like objective for the sole sakes of trying to get lucky on a 1% drop. Acrobat is kind of funny, not gonna lie.
I do like Acrobat, but yeah, I don't think you should ban casino entirely just because then no one could go Acrobat. And that's kind of too harsh in my opinion.
I also don't think it's good when there's alchemists with alchemy and then they get to do gambling forever.
Oh yeah, we'll get to alchemy stuff or like alchemist stuff, but yeah, we'll get to that in a minute. But yeah, that's also a problem. Just like, hey, you want to be alchemist and just make money and then go gamble it and make more money and be like a rich person with like that's like way above everyone. There's
I'm the second richest. I'm Green Jr., the second richest man in the world. You're richer than me now.
Yeah, I know you'll be richer than Green Jr. Yeah.
Yeah, we're a long alchemist discussion. You know, I actually don't think that like. What am I trying to say? I think alchemy is a stupid skill, but I actually think it's harder to abuse than it looks, especially in a game.
The problem's not alchemy; it's duping the castle invested gems. That's my problem.
Duping the castle items is what I have more of a problem with.
Yeah, that's the actual like alchemy.
If you want to have 6 million on hand cash, you can go do that. Also, if the monster gives up, that's a Lamau moment. He wanted alchemy. Oh, I'm sorry, the monster gave up. Here's like $10. No.
Yeah, I think alchemy's not too bad. It's kind of lame, but it's not. But like, yeah, do you want to talk about that now on that subject or
what, the duplication?
Yeah, like castle investing, basically.
Actually,
why? Or is there something else?
Yeah, it takes time to collect money through alchemy, and if people really wanted to, they could just make your life hell, and the king becomes a peasant. Yeah, it's definitely possible to have like a game where someone has $100 million because 4 alchemists.
Yeah.
4 alchemists with money tricksters. That feels like a really weird way to play the game. Like, at that point, I don't think the castles or towns even matter anymore. It's who kills who for the money. Jesus. But I think that duplication on Alchemist, it's definitely rated fairly in that it's pretty strong. But I think that with a good Alchemist build, it's not as great as it should be. Because unless you're actually going to ignore field magic, you're probably going to be duplicating stuff you're using, like Magma DXs or Ice DXs.
Yeah.
Than, like, the Clutch Charm Potion, or the Town Conjure, or the gem you wanted to scum the game. Because, I'm gonna be real, if you have literally only that gem, you're gonna get purse cuttered.
Yeah, people will not let you just
People will purse cutter.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
So, you're gonna have a lot of shit on you. That means you can't really duplicate it efficiently.
Like,
and
people
even
are
if
just
you
gonna
duplicate it, you know, you're just giving people a reason to try that themselves when they have more money, and they just spam you with shit. It makes the game less fun, because it's basically a game of put you down, alright, we get to move. Put you down, alright, we get to move. But that is something that people are willing to do.
Yeah, like, people will just not let you sit there and duplicate for free. They're just not gonna stand for it.
Which
it's
is
like,
why,
yeah.
And this is a little off topic, but this is why I say that Kingdom actually has more counterplay, in my opinion, than some other Dokapon games. Because if people do dumb shit, it's not like they have, like, always access to Vanish and other stuff. Like, they can buy it, but that doesn't mean they're gonna have the time to use it. Unlike other games where you have, like, ability Vanish, or, like, alright, you're just not hit this turn. Or you have minus 50% hit chance against field magic on you.
I think the way Purse Cutter works in Kingdom's fine, considering what can happen and how Field Magic works in that game. So I don't have a problem with how it cuts multiple items in that game. It's
I
fine.
honestly think the best check to Alchemist is like a Magician Purse Cutter.
Yeah.
2 per turn, they're not gonna duplicate shit.
I would love to see like more like not magic builds, but like games in Kingdom where people actually end as magician. That'd be interesting to see.
Because I think Magician's actually a strong class that. Here's why I don't say Alchemist counter is Alchemist, because I feel like it's just who has the better utility at the end. But a Magician can absolutely counter the fuck out of an Alchemist, because they hit twice as much field magic. And even in it, like, they should get the Mastery, of course, and then go back to Magician. But my thing is, like, even if the level up's not as good compared to Alchemist, I'm just imagining so much shit you can do with high magic and 2 times hits. Like, double Ice DX, I don't care if you have more magic than me, Ice DX go hard. If you're pumping more magic than me, you're not pumping HP, you're gonna fucking die.
Mm-hmm.
And there's also just the Purse Cutter spams, there's the lockdowns. Having another chance to hit lockdown is huge.
Yeah, 2 a turn is pretty nice, to be honest. 2 chances. And
then you have, like, what, 10 space for field magic as well? Jesus.
Yep. Mm-hmm. How much was it? Was it 10 in base game without balance patch?
It was 10 for Magician and 12 for Alchemist, I'm pretty sure.
Oh my god, Jesus. That's actually insane.
Which is why imagine... I still don't know why Warrior had 6 items for magic. That was awful.
That was terrible. I'm glad they buffed item inventory for some classes. That was really lame.
Warrior actually got told you can't have field magic or items. Eat shit. But getting back to that house rule, right? I think duplicating gems, personally, I understand it. I don't want to force players. What do you mean West kind of vanished, huh? Do you see his name on there?
Mm-hmm.
He was.
Keyword was.
You see, well, actually, let no one explain that for himself.
Yeah, basically he was on the last episode and the title just updated, so yeah, because he was here last week.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Anyways, yeah, that's not important. It's fixed now. That's all that matters.
What is important is why duplication. While I think it's fine, I don't like invest. Well, the main thing is castle investing. I don't.
Oh god, castle investing.
I don't like it, and that's not my basis for like saying it's a good house rule or not. But it's just, it's one of those things where, if anyone gets a single castle, it encourages players to, like, just duplicate money through alchemy or, like, basically kill boss monsters and... Yeah, because 6 item slots, yeah. It's like, okay, do you want mobility or do you want good shit? Choose. Kind of a situation, unless you get a super spinner. But with, like... when the ninja gets the Wallace badge, that's when the alchemist loses. If the Wallace badge is ever on the field, you gotta consider why you still alchemist. Unfortunately.
Yeah, I don't know if people will do the King's Quest to get to that point in time.
I think the side stories are worth it. More people should do it.
They're decent.
Because, in my opinion, if people are doing the side quests, when people complain about people stalling the game in Kingdom, go do the side quest. You know what? That's the first 2 quests aren't really that great. But tell me how $800,000 that can't be fucked with is not great.
Some of the later ones are not bad.
Like, what's it? The Weeby one is, like, I think about worth a chapter 1 time, which is understandable. But you could literally do that while you're going to Spring Cave for another chapter. Like, it's really that easy.
The first 2 are blah, but after that, they're, like, not bad. They're
like
decent.
The Salamander, you could do that shit while we're on chapter 3. The flower one, you can do that while getting your katana if you're a ninja.
Mm-hmm.
And the last 2, the dog one, I mean, are you telling me you're not going to land on a temple? Like none of them feel intrusive enough where it's like, oh, I have to go out of my way to do it. I think the first one is, but honestly, the first one isn't even that bad. Get a town to level 3, wait. Then when you need money or something, go collect it and then we'll turn it in. And it's like free town that no one can fuck with. I think that's great. And when the last ones are like, what, $1 million? 1.2 million? I think that's huge. On top of Wallace Badge. I definitely feel like you could win a game just from doing side quests. I mean, granted, you're still also playing the game, but like, I definitely feel like it's huge. I would put the Zero Banana and the Wallace Badge like right next to each other, kind of thing.
But yeah, like, I think, honestly, castle investing is just with Alchemist.
Because it forces a playstyle where...
And it's not a very fun one either.
It's not a fun playstyle because it's just people farming money and trying to keep it safe, like the World Peace Bank in the world, where it's like, oh, cool.
Mm-hmm. It's like even worse than the World Peace
Bank. It's
not
like the local items that are negs and Kingdom really like neg that hard. Like,
no, the local items.
A local item value. Yeah. Let me give him this black diamond that's supposed to be negative 50,000.
Local items that aren't the duped castle vested gems usually aren't worth it, other than maybe like the king's favors, but that's about it.
The king favors are huge positive, but there's no huge negative.
Yeah, there's not enough to neg it like other Dokkan games for local item value. Like, yeah, there's like you said, Black Diamond, negative 50k. Oh no, what are we gonna do about it? 50k.
What if I sold this magic medicine here and got $920,000? I think that will fix the problem.
Yeah, pretty much.
On another note, if I get a magic medicine, like from robbing an item store in that game, I'm pretty sure I just win.
Probably. Yeah, probably. You just sell it. It's like, okay. Mm-hmm. Yeah, pretty much. But yeah, I think we pretty much explained why we ban castle investing house rule pretty much for the most part.
Yeah, it's just unfortunate that it's kind of just cringe long term. If there was an answer to it, like if negs did like negative 400 or negative 300, like okay, sure, go castle.
I like what the patch did with castle investing. It was nice.
Where it consumes it, yeah.
Yeah, that was a nice touch. At least that was added in the patch, like the balance patch. I appreciate that at least. That's better than what it was in base game. It was awful in base game.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like, here's another quick question though. If Alchemist was not in the game, I assume we don't think it would be as bad. It would still be bad, but it wouldn't be that bad because then at least it wouldn't
be that bad because it's like okay, they get an extra couple $100,000 for value. It's basically like little castles, like really tiny castles,
like mini castles, and you can't dupe them. So it's like, oh well. Anyways, yeah. If there was no Alchemist class in the game,
because there's the Alchemist class and the Wallace badge, it's like, you basically have to play goalkeeper with castles without that rule.
Like there's another element to it they get to worry about. When you see
everyone going to magician build, you tell everyone not going to the magic build. All right, fuck that guy. Don't let him get a castle.
Mm-hmm.
Screw that guy. He's up to no good.
Yes, yeah. If you see someone go Alchemist, it's like, and you don't have house rules, it's like, yeah, let's not let him have the castles, because then it's like, yeah, no, that's lame. Like, even, you can do it even with, like, what, the lower tier castles? Like, the Chapter 2 castle? Even that's disgusting, isn't it? Like, for duping? Yeah. It's actually insane.
Alchemy, magic medicine, castle gems. That's when you hit the integer limit. Yeah, when you hit the negative, and then everyone else wins the game by default. My favorite. To that note, let's talk about something completely out of the ballpark.
What's that?
Come here in Lava Cave.
Oh, buying come here. It's so gross. Oh, don't get me started about that. So disgusting. Why? Why do they think it was okay to come here in Lava Cave in chapter 3? Why? Why do they think that was okay? Why?
Actually, that's a lot of board games, Mystic. I mean, even the old, like, for example, since you mentioned Monopoly, the old, like, GameCube and SNES ones had house rules. Some of them weren't enforced, some of them were, but you could choose. And same thing with, like, what's that other game? That's Clue, actually, used to have, like, certain house rules in the Wii variant, where you couldn't actually, like, cheese it like you normally could by insta-guessing. Games today, I feel like if there were options, and like Dokapon Kingdom, where at the start of the game you could choose house rules, like as a UI,
like toggles, cool. Yeah, like toggles.
But until then, we have the patches, and you have to explain it before we start the game.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, toggles are pretty nice though, so you don't have to worry about it, and that way you don't have to argue mid-game about house rules, and it's enforced through the game.
Dokapon does indeed have no modern games. There's no hoes and no bitches, unfortunately.
No. Like, the only modern game is Up, but like we don't need to talk about Dokapon.
Look, you haven't even played Up.
I know, but it's just like it's just it might as well not be a Dokapon.
We're gonna play Dokapon Up one day. We're gonna sit down and play through all the damn maps, and then we can talk about whether it sucks or not. All right?
Yeah, but it's just like it might as well not even be Dokapon though. Let's be honest. Like,
you know, that might be a good point, but it's still, in the end of the day, if it's not released in my country, it doesn't exist. Mystic, that means the only Dokapon game is Kingdom.
Kingdom and Journey.
I don't know if anyone wants to consider Journey.
No, piece of shit Journey. Actually, like, bad video game.
You're taking a turn. It's like D&D 4th edition. It doesn't exist.
Yeah, pretty much. That's how I feel about Journey. Like, actually, I don't even blame you for forgetting about Journey getting localized.
No, that's how I get Journey. Well, no one. You're being given an option.
If he wants to, that's up to him. If he wants to come on to talk about Journey, I need to play. It's a
new game that isn't released in my country. It doesn't exist. What about Fortune Street for the PS2? All jokes aside, the 7th.
Yeah.
Illegal! Get this person to meet. I think when it comes to, like, house rules, I would love for the better implementation in Kingdom. Like, if we could have a UI set up. The patches are nice to kind of get a feel for what people think are legal and whatnot. It's more like just taking things out than it is saying, don't do this, or do this. Honestly, house rules are kind of that weird area where you have to kind of explain to everyone, and it's really difficult, especially if it's the first game through, which is why I almost kind of want to suggest that house rules shouldn't exist if it's your first game.
Yeah, because like
it's really hard to say.
Yeah, because even if there is broken stuff in Kingdom, on your first game, you're not going to figure out how to break it like that on your first game in general. Like, you're not going to know about how castle investing's dumb. Like, you might figure out casino, but you might not do it the whole game. I don't think you will, honestly. Like, people might do it for a bit, but yeah.
And the thing is also is that if you remove the drops from the 200, 500k, I don't really think it fixes the problem, unfortunately.
I mean, you can go buy money tricksters, but yeah.
They'll have like $7 million on in cash. That's still kind of annoying, but it's not like game ending, I guess.
Yeah.
It's kind of weird, because, like, there is an answer to someone having $10 million in cash. It's called Darkling, cut their money in half. And you do that, because it's like 30 points. Like, who cares?
Mm-hmm.
But also, I guess if you remove the item pool from, like, the 500 and 200k, I wouldn't really give a crap.
Yeah, because
can someone go Darkling to fix that? And that'd be
someone can either go Darkling or go beat them up since they don't have.
Because if they're not getting equipment, like, someone can go kick their butt easily. It wouldn't be hard.
They can just go beat them up and then take their money, basically. And then like, well, I don't know what to do now because they beat me up and took my money, and I don't have money. Also, we didn't consider the fact that people can just be very, very unlucky with the casino. Like, they could just lose. Not in our game. Like, what's his name? Just won every time he played, except I think once. He played the biggest wheel, and he won immediately.
Yeah, because he just got really, really lucky. Well, I mean, by shaming someone, you kind of make it a house rule, right? Like, you don't have to tell someone that that's not allowed if everyone stares at them awkwardly. That's kind of just showing that it's a taboo action.
Mm-hmm.
It's house rules with very passive-aggressive tones.
Mm-hmm. Instead of having house rules, instead just make fun of them for the rest of their life. I don't know about that one, but yeah, okay. Alright, well. Yeah, I'm not sure about that one, but, you know, you do you. But, like... I mean,
within a certain, like, bounds of jest, I suppose. But go ahead.
Hmm?
House rules, we get to fight them. Welcome to Dokapon playing in person.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Like hockey, yeah.
Yeah, mm-hmm. Someone fucking strikes you, alright, that's when you body slam them to the wall. You strike them in the face. Please don't beat people up physically, these are jokes. House rules exist to stop someone from just circling the starter desert for the first 3 continents, maxing all the classes, then leveling and getting the 3 times...
I actually don't think it's a problem. I don't think it's
a problem with someone sitting in spawn, because... Oh, against the CPUs, yes, because CPUs are dumb.
Like, we're talking actual player games.
Because I think if you're playing with other players and they see people doing that, there's this really cool thing called Magma Plus.
They'll either nuke the player, or they'll just go play the game and forget about them and rush the game.
Because, yeah, they'll get 3 times the stats, but, like, if they have no towns and no castles, they're gonna have to go Darkling a couple times to fix that. And if they're way too late on that, they're too late.
Yeah, and it gets to a point where it's too late and there's nothing you can do and the game's over sometimes.
Dokapon, like, in my opinion, Kingdom at least is one of the few Dokapon games where you can't just grind classic speed to win.
Even in the other games where you can, like even like World, it's called, hey, you buy magmas and you fucking nuke them and they can't do anything because you kill them.
Grind classic speed? Well, why don't you grind Graveyard?
Yeah, basically. How about you stay dead and think about what you did for a bit, and then maybe you can play the game.
That game you had, Noman, that one? Oh.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I think you learned the hard way that not everyone likes that.
No, Yeah, that's just how it is. Yeah.
Yeah, if you avoid leveling and you're like level 5 with like 4 classes mastered, chances are you still die to a magma.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
the only way you don't die is if like you pump speed and
level 27 magma plus is gonna do like 900 damage, 800 damage. You maybe have 200 HP if you're pumping only HP.
Yeah.
Like, it was nice knowing you, sir. You'll be dead for the next 10 weeks. And the worst part is, since you're like low level, you don't even have a chance to dodge. Like, you're just gonna die.
Yeah.
All you can do is like give up your way to like an weapon store, I guess. But if you're like, all you can do is go Darkling at that point and get a contract. But if you're getting nuked to hell, you're not gonna blast it with that contract. You better hope to God the game doesn't take it away from you.
Yeah.
And if you're playing with some players that hoard like last place, you're just gonna be in the worst position.
Yeah, especially if you're in 3rd, and it's like, well, I don't know what to do now. This kind of sucks. Not gonna lie.
3rd is the worst.
Yeah, 3rd is definitely the worst position in Dokapon, for sure.
No, I can understand why people think that, like, you know, grinding out for the maximum gain is a good idea. You just have to do it within moderation, because people will exploit you being, like, 10 levels lower than them, or, like, 8 levels lower.
Yeah.
Like, hell, like, and the one game we were playing, like, only 2 weeks ago, man, you were 10 levels lower, and you could not do jack shit in the new continent.
No, I couldn't do any. Well, it was more so a squall, but still, it was, like, yeah, part of it. What's that?
Because if you had 10 more levels, you could have had, like, what, maybe 20, 30 more speed? You could have probably dodged a few.
Like, that's why I don't think there has to be a house rule, because there's actually ways of dealing with people doing that. Like, there's plenty of counterplay. You either just go rush the game and leave them in the dust, or then you start bullying them with like magic and stuff. Like there's ways of dealing with sandbagging. It's not that big of a problem because
in every Dokapon game you can't really sandbag. If I'm gonna be honest.
No. World you kind of can for like the first chapter, but that's it. Like
after the first chapter, no more sandbagging allowed.
Yeah, like once chapter 1's over, sandbagging time is over. You kind of just have to play the game.
And in Kingdom, it's kind of hard actually to stall chapter 1 out. If I'm gonna be real,
your limit
aren't even gonna be close to like 2-3 shotting somebody.
Your limit for Kingdom's probably like chapter 3 for sandbagging.
After chapter 3, no more, because that's when the game becomes we're just one-shotting things left and right. And by the time you master 3 classes, I'll be mastering all 7 castles like it's Dragon Balls.
Yeah, chapter 3 is like your last chance because it slows the game down because the objective and how it works. And then
I'd also argue that's the last chapter to go get Acrobat.
Yeah, unless you get it in 5 when there's a little break.
5 is like the one time you can get it if it's like a really bad one, like the Squilla.
The problem is when we got it was bad RNG for me. It wasn't Squilla, which is what I wanted it to be.
It was Dr. Exile.
Well, it was only Dr. Exiles. It was that, and then you got the best spawn for the ring, in my opinion. So it was like, well, I hate myself. I was like, wow, this sucks for me. I guess, yeah. It's like, yay. It's like, wow, no Squilla. The one time I wanted to be Squilla, it's not Squilla. It's like, wow, this game's awesome. Yay. Great. Like, if it was Squilla, I would have actually had time to do shit.
I still remember how salty people were in another game where I just finished South America. Someone finished chapter 5, and they're like, alright, where's it gonna spawn? I was still in South America, I spawned the Squilla. I had a magic medicine, I nat rolled in, pop magic medicine, one-shot the thing, nat rolled out.
Oh my god, Jesus Christ. Oh my god.
It made it even worse that, like, I also got the shield that week. Oh, man. That was a fun game.
Was that the game where you got the Wabbit shield?
Yeah, I risqued a Wabbit shield from someone.
Oh my god, that's awful. That sounds horrible.
I risqued a Wabbit shield. I had the Ichimonji Katana from White Loot, not from the equipment store.
Mm-hmm.
And, I think I don't remember what accessory. Oh yeah, I got Zebra Bandana first try with a Skeleton Key, and I got targeted so hard.
Yeah, I wonder why. Speaking of the Zebra Bandana, some people wanted to house ban the Zebra Bandana. Like, a few people talked to, but I don't think that's necessary.
I don't think it's necessary. I think if you take the Zebra Bandana, you're gonna get targeted.
But the thing is, it's good, but, okay, there's a few problems. One, you put a big target on your back, because people were like, yeah, no, you're not just gonna farm drops. No, that's cringe. And 2, it's house banned in 1v. Yeah, I could see 1v1s, I guess. Not 4 or 3-player games, but 1v1's fair. You could make an argument for that.
I think, though, personally, 1v1s in Dokapon are cancer.
Oh,
mostly
yeah, they
just
are.
because Dokapon is not designed
for
around
1v1.
Yeah,
it is absolutely not.
Funny joke. They're not designed around 1v1s at all. Primarily just because other people are supposed to be hitting if you can't hit. And I don't mean just field magic, but I mean like objectives and stuff.
Yeah, like sharing net worth or splitting towns, stuff like that.
When it's just one person taking it all when the other person's dying, the game doesn't really have a backup plan for you, I guess.
Yeah, because Dokapon, the way it's designed for 3 and 4 people, it like helps people. It keeps the whole game in check because one person's not just steamrolling with their net worth. Because
that's why it's, now that I think about it, it makes sense why Dokapon Kingdom is like the first Dokapon game where you, Dokapon Kingdom is weird in that the game before it did not allow you to do 2-player or 3-player games.
No, you had Dokapon the World, you had to have 4. If you didn't have the people, it forced the CPU.
It forced the CPU on you.
I think it makes sense for the World, though, all things considered. But it still sucks you can't do, like, a 3-player game, like, without a CPU in the World. But I'll say this. Yeah.
Go ahead.
I was going to say, 1v1. If there's no CPUs, 1v1s would be awful in the world. I played one; it was awful. But imagine no CPUs, it'd be even more awful.
Archmage spamming Magma DX.
Fucking Magic War 1v1s. But yeah.
NDS. Oh, you're talking about Dokapon Journey. Ugh.
Yeah. Ooh. Yeah, there's some design flaws.
Do you like chugging potions when someone goes Darkling so you don't die? That's my favorite.
Mm-hmm.
Hold on real quick. I gotta throw a fireball that's not gonna hit the Darkling. Alright, that's my turn. Goodbye, everyone.
I know it's off topic. Did you know Drain kills in Journey here?
Because it's maximum HP, right?
It does half, and then when you do it again, it kills. Like, it doesn't... Yeah, it does based off your max, not your total at the moment. So it just... So not only does it drain it all, it fucking kills you. It never cuts in half like other Dokapon games. It just kills you in 2 hits, basically. Isn't that gross?
I mean, I sure love my Fire Emblem magic, battle magic.
And then I'm pretty sure I told you about how you can miss countered strikes, like strikes and counters, for some reason. Dumb. Why? That makes striking even better. Because it's like, it's not as risky. Because if you have higher speed, it's like, well, they might just miss the counter anyways. I can risk it. You know.
Why the fuck can you miss a counter?
I don't know.
Yeah, it's Fire Emblem battle magic. I sure love when I die and lose all my battle magic drops.
Yeah, when you lose magic in Journey, you lose all the drops. Not one, or all of them. They're all gone. And see, this wouldn't be a problem if like weapons were limited use, but they're not. So I don't get what they were going
Also,
for.
because you can't switch classes, I'm glad you brought that up in Journey. That like, if you choose a bad class, you're stuck with it. It's like how in DX, if you choose a poor character choice, you're just screwed.
You're just boned. Even with pump stats, it doesn't help enough.
You chose Wee Wee. Haha, look at this nerd. All the Tap and Vent players. See ya.
Tap, Lucio, and Garamara. Laughs.
Even like Birkin and like, even Birkin could kick someone's ass over like Wee Wee and like Lazuli.
Birkin's decent. I think Wee Wee's definitely low tier.
See, defense is not bad in every Dokapon game. It's just Kingdom that's awful.
It's bad in King. It's good in other Dokapon games because it's calced better. It's
like, unironically, if you have 300 attack and 300 defense, or the other person has 300 defense in other Dokapon games, it's actually crazy how you only took like 200 damage. It's like, oh.
Yeah.
What? And then, like, Strike's also nerfed in, like, the world, and, like, in DX, don't even get me started about fucking magic.
Yeah.
Isn't HP? Yes, HP is 100% better.
Oh, HP, in my opinion, is the best stat.
It's not even a question.
Yeah.
Defense blocks 1.2 damage worth of HP, and HP gives you 10 on level up. So,
Yeah, it gives you 10 on level and 10 on pump static.
Reducing the damage you take by 1.2 or having 10 more hit points. Thinking.
Yeah, I wonder. I wonder what you're gonna pump. You're gonna pump defense or HP? I wonder.
Glass Cannon. Well, Glass Cannon as a magician's pretty funny.
If you want Glass Cannon, it's like you pump speed, probably.
You pump speed, magic, and then you go, alright, here's this Magma DX. If you try to hit me with a Magma, it does, like, 1 damage. Have fun. It makes the Cleric and Monk classes pretty... yeah... HP, yeah, from Cleric and Monk, yeah, it's pretty good.
At Cleric, getting 20 HP is nice.
Call me crazy, but I think if you're going to magic build, Monk's actually overkill for HP.
Probably, yeah.
I think it's overkill because, yeah, the HP mastery is appreciated, but you also have to have the time to do that. And generally speaking, Monk weapons don't really give you magic. With the exception of, like, the Aura Knuckle, but, like... not even the Aura Knuckle. Aura Knuckle gives you 15 defense. I'm throwing.
Oh, yeah, it doesn't. You're right.
Yeah. Whereas Cleric weapons, some give you magic, some give you HP. And generally speaking, the passive heal, as well as the ability prayer, is a lot more useful. Not saying that Afterburn isn't broken. Pretty good. But...
yeah.
I think if you're doing something like Magician, Thief, Alchemist, Cleric, that's great. Like, that's set. Printing money strat with Alchemist. It's not really banned. I do see house rules though where people say you
people
only use it once if you're in debt, or
if
like
you're
if
in
you
debt
need
or
money.
like poor, or you're poor and want to buy a weapon or something.
If you want to spam it, I'm pretty sure if people talk to it beforehand, people are gonna shame the shit out of you. But it's not like a game breaking thing, because if you do that, that's when people start throwing magmas at you. So
or they buy money tricksters.
Or they buy money tricksters, and it's like, wow, cool, you got what you wanted, attention. Like, if you want to go have a $12 million on hand, yeah, you have a castle's worth of money. Yeah, people are going to beat the crap out of you. There's no question.
Yeah.
You better have the stats to back up and defend that money, because if you give up once, that's half of it. I mean, even with magic medicine, if you sell magic medicine and you have $20 million, no one's gonna leave you alive, man.
No, no. Better have vanishes. That's all I'm gonna say.
I don't know. If you're gonna do that, you better have vanishes, but that means no alchemy spam. Goldbug though.
I don't mind Goldbug, because if you lose, if you lose, then it's like,
50-50 coin toss.
Yeah, at least Goldbug's a coin toss. I don't have a problem with Goldbug, because you're literally gambling the whole game away, basically. That's fine.
Hero's 50-50 game winning losing idea.
I mean, yeah, it is.
Alright, but like, if I win that, well, like, I'm pretty sure that will go down in history.
Were you there when Zone got a Goldbug?
Yeah, he got like, what, $3 million, I think, from his Goldbug?
Oh no, it was $8 million. He doubled like $4 million, I think. And then he put it all in the World Peace Bank. I was like, well, and then he put it in the World Peace Bank. I was like, well, okay then. That's why I wasn't even that upset Zone 1, not just because I got nuked a lot, because he made some risky plays like Goldbug. Like, that was unnecessary, but hey, he risked it and it worked, so I can't be that mad at him. So.
According to the Dokapon wiki, Goldbug can potentially... No, it's only double.
It's 50. It's either 50 or nothing. Yeah, it's either double or nothing.
You either double or nothing.
That is not true.
Man,
I don't know who made the
Dokapon wiki and
who made the Goldbug. Who made the Goldbug article?
I'm looking this up right now.
I did not do that one myself, but yeah.
He's out here spreading all this misinformation.
Look, a coin flip is more like a 20% to the player's favor in Kingdom. Yeah, it could be. On a tangent related to the stream title, house rules in MTG exist to stop people from bringing unfun decks to... Yeah, that's fair. That's another thing about, like, some house rules. Like, it's not just because, you know, like, lame ways to win, but, like, it makes the game unfun, or you have to play, like, certain ways around it, and then people just rather not deal with it. Like, for example, when I brought up the charm potion thing earlier at the start of the podcast of this episode, like, how it's like, you know, like, buying charm potions and Tower Rabble and just spamming them is honestly kind of lame, and it just makes the game way worse, you know? So, yeah, for sure. If it could triple, I have to buy blood pressure medication. Yeah, probably. Like, imagine just tripling. Like, you do Casino Cave.
Apparently Joseph's responsible for that one.
Did he actually? I will have a word with him later about that.
Apparently he also wrote that an Acrobat increases the chance of a double by 10%. I do not know where he got this information from.
I will have a word with him later and we'll fix that. But yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, anyways, we'll definitely fix that for sure. But yeah. Anyways, but yeah. There's always that one guy that brings an over-aggressive blue control. Yeah, that's... Mm-hmm. Man spreading propaganda.
Like, if Acrobat actually increased that would be stupid. And I don't think that is the case at all.
Yeah.
I've never heard of that being the case.
I don't know why it's...
Where the hell would you even find that information?
I don't know. When was that article last edited?
2022, April.
Oh.
But that information has existed there since, like...
What about the Goldbug one?
That's what I'm saying.
Oh, that was a... Oh, okay.
Yep. Since April 18th, 2022.
What propaganda? No, I'm pretty sure he's talking about, like, the misinformation on the wiki. I think that's what he's referring to.
I cannot believe this.
Yeah.
I have to write a strongly worded letter to this Joseph.
I don't know why it said that, but we'll get it fixed. That's for sure.
Bad Yelp review time. Yes.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Man can make a really pretty interactive map, but I'll be damned if he lies about a gold bug. Actually, I'm pretty sure gold bug always is 50-50, even in the other Dokapon games.
It's 50-50 in all the games. Yeah.
Yeah.
It is. It's 50. It says that in the description, like how it's like you either lose it all or double it or something like that, like to that effect. In DX and in the world, like it's always been like that. It's pretty much universal in all the games. That's an item. So yeah.
I mean, if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. And you know, if Joseph found something that's a 1% super crazy information that no one's ever seen before, cool.
Yeah, I just wasn't aware about it.
I have no idea where he could have even found that out.
Mm-hmm.
Uh.
Yeah, but that'll get fixed. Don't worry. All right, what are other funny house rules that you like using, Hero, in Kingdom?
I like using.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I know one we haven't talked about actually. Using field magic on story bosses. We didn't talk about that one actually.
Yeah. Screw you, Rico Sr. I'm gonna poison you and down you and hit you with like 5 different magma DXs. You be at 1 HP and a cripple. Yeah, that's a great boss fight right there.
I just down, 20% down, dies. Okay, goodbye. Dies.
You could just, you don't have to go first. Yeah, 250 HP and take 700 damage because of down. Yeah, another player can just snipe it, but here's what you do then. If a player tries to come into the dungeons with you, what you do is you hit them with the DX. You hit them with the mag.
The problem also is if some people didn't build magic, they can't just use like magma DX or ice DX. It just depends on someone's build.
If they use a speed build, it's called lockdown and down. Good luck fighting a story boss with down.
Yeah.
And they just wait until either they can kill you, or you're locked down far away enough that they can fight it without any worries.
Yeah. I think the issue is that it just neuters challenge of the story bosses way too much. It just kind of neuters and kills it. Because it's like, hey, look at this cool boss fight that's really challenging. Dies. Because field magic. It's like, dead.
Dies from cringe.
Real talk really quick. I know it's a little off topic, but I know we debated about it in different Dokapon games, like the world, because, you know, how bosses were in that game. Like, because we said it might be okay in that game, to be honest. Sadly. We kind of agreed on that a little bit, I think.
A little bit.
Yeah. But yeah, like, downs, but your enemy then becomes the other players. I tried to use field magic to get towns, and most of them get sniped. Especially since then you can't. Yeah, that's true. I'm mostly talking about like story bosses, not like town monsters. But yeah, that's fair.
Yeah, because I mean, like, I don't really care about town monsters because
Strike kills them anyways. Strike just fucking kills them.
You can one-shot them most of the time if you're having an alright build. And it's just like, okay, whatever.
Town monsters don't matter because they die to strike anyways. Who cares? It's fine. I'm mostly referring just to.
Yeah, there's a few scary ones though, like Crawler and Worm and Cockatrice.
Yeah, Petrify and Squeeze.
Basilisk.
Quake abilities are. Most town monsters are a joke anyways. Yeah, no, they just throw and don't counter because they're dumb. They just die to strike. They're just like, dead. Oh, I'm like, oh, I wonder what button they're going to push strike. This was before I knew how busted strike was fair. Yeah. I didn't use strike until I had to because my luck was terrible and didn't want to get counted. That's fair.
Well,
yeah, I mean, that's understandable.
I think even if we up the counter rate, I definitely feel like the game would like become pretty difficult at our.
Oh, I would be fine with that. Yeah, I think that's how it should be. honestly.
Yes, they have specific AI strategies. Yep. Some monsters are more willing to choose certain options than others.
Yeah, like I know not the Phoenix in Chapter 3 like to push counter, I believe.
Phoenix is like to.
Yeah.
I still remember this one game where a player had basically he landed on an Elder Dragon and it hit counter 3 times in a row, and he lost 3 revivals in a row.
Mm-hmm.
Attack becomes a safe option.
It might help.
But I'm okay with attack becoming the safe option because attack doesn't do nearly enough to one-shot.
Attacks, I'd be fine with that because then it would make attack builds more.
I love my level 48 Phoenix in Chapter 3, thank you.
Yeah, I know, right? Mm-hmm.
Well, it's not even attack is slower, it's just attack doesn't have magic and speed behind it for extra damage. And attack counter does not nearly do the same amount of damage as strike defend.
Yeah. Yeah, you strike because you get fights done quicker. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And that's why attack's in a weird position in the game right now, because most people are just going to pump speed for striking instead of attack. Like, honestly, I'd be fine with them increasing in counter rates, because then you wouldn't just spam the button. You would actually think about it. And it might make attack builds in the game more prevalent, which I would like to see. It would be nice. Because we've talked about that before, how attack's in this weird, awkward position in Kingdom right now, where it's not bad, but it's like, most people tend to not do just mostly attack builds. They'll just speed first strike, or do a magic build, even if it's base game or not, because to try something different. If that makes any sense, basically.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, Field Magic is fine on like Town Monsters, because they just die anyways. I was mostly referring to like, final boss, or like...
I think if Town Monsters became harder because the strike got nerfed, I think Field Magic would become interesting because it'd be both necessary and overkill.
Yeah.
Like with a magic build, it'd be like, what, maybe half their HP pool, then you attack. It's a 2-turn instead of like a 3-turn in-game fight.
Yeah.
And I would argue, Noman, that fights with towns would be... Actually, fights in general would be so scary. Because if they last more than 1 to 2 turns, Kingdom is not built on sustained fights.
You will
actually get slaughtered if you get more than 2 to 3. Like, you can't farm classic speed late game.
No. Attacking is what you have to do for them.
Yeah, that's my thing.
Yeah. Well, yeah, of course. Uh-huh.
That's why I think that, like, counter rates going up and people being forced to draw out fights is a good thing.
Like, I would be fine if... I also don't like that bosses have auto counter. Like, yeah, I know strike...
I think auto counter is fine.
Well, if, like...
In the current state. I think if counter rates were up, I would agree with you.
Yeah, if, like, they actually changed counter rates and then it was risky, but you could actually realistically get away with it, then it's fine. Yeah. Yeah, you have to attack because bosses auto counter in the game, of course.
And in some ways, you have to really not use magic. I mean, they're gonna defend 90% of the time, but if they hit that super bounce, you're gone.
Yeah, super bounce, like Aurora. Well, goodbye. It was nice knowing you.
Yep, super bounce on Rico Senior Final Form. Yeah, good luck using Aurora.
Yeah, you could do magic, but obviously, yeah.
If you hit more than twice, that's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
But chances are that probably still doesn't even kill, unfortunately.
Yeah.
And Aurora's rusted too. That's the worst part.
Aurora's the strongest. Like.
Oh, you're right. It is just bounce, but that still hurts. It is still Aurora.
Mm-hmm.
And if he hits bounce and then he hits an attack on you, chances are you're like maybe 10% HP, if not dead. Darkling has super bounce. Correct.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
But bounce is still scary.
Imagine you go first and then you use Aurora, gets bounced, and then Rico gets to attack you. It's like, wow, okay, the great start, you know.
What a good start to this ending game fight.
Mm-hmm.
That's why I'm fine with Rico Senior normal having mirror instead of bounce. That feels much more fair.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Honestly, I think that fight was done a lot better, in my opinion, than the other Rico fight, personally.
Because he has mirror, he doesn't really have an ability, because I think personally that strikeout should be removed on all those boss fights and given a much better ability. Because even the Demon's Guard is Quake, like that's something interesting at least.
Either Quake or like...
Strikeout literally is just boring.
It's boring and it's kind of BS.
It doesn't work most of the time. It's a 1 in 8, and when it does, it.
No, refresh. The stream's dead.
No, it should be still. Yep.
Oh wait, well now it's back. Okay.
Sorry about that, everyone. I think a bird hit my satellite dish.
Time to yell at your ISP after the stream.
I mean, I could.
Yeah, I probably should. Are you sure you're live? I'm refreshing.
It says the stream's still up and that we do have recording. If someone else could verify, that'd be really cool. Because ultimately, I am biased as all hell. The bitrate died for a little bit, I'll say that much.
It's back up. Yeah, now it's back. Yeah.
Sorry about that, everyone.
It was dead for a little bit. It's back, though. Yeah, there we go. Alright, perfect. Alright, sorry about that. It should be good. But yeah, field magic on bosses, pretty lame. Because it kind of just neuters the challenge and makes it unfun. Sadly. Like, you want to tell the story again about the 20% down that one player got? Here.
20% down. Oh.
With D4C, the D4C game. You want to tell that story? Why you don't like field magic on bosses? That's probably the best story, to be honest.
So, I mean, it was a really hard Rico Senior Final Form fight. Like, he was busted. One down was all it took to make him puny. And when he was puny, a player who had worse stats than everyone else killed him without any effort. And it was kind of sad. It was really sad because I had actually worked really hard making a build that could fight Rico Senior Final Form. I had a hiccup, I'll admit, but I was going to come back in and no one else was going to be able to get it except me. But that down was all it took, and that was it. I lost the game as a result.
Yep. That was a funny game. I won that one. Yes, you did. That was pretty funny.
That was also my 3000 HP run build.
Yeah.
And my god, did that build do wonders.
Oh yeah, I know chat was talking about this earlier about Strikeout. I should tell that one story about Strikeout. With that game with me and Light, that was really, with me, Light, and Eerie, that was stupid. Basically, one of the players, they got their weapon broken from Strikeout. So, and but they were a mixed, like, spell sword build.
Be right back.
Okay. So basically, yeah. The only thing they could do was Aurora to win the fight, but you know how Rico has Mirror. So it's like, well, I guess I'm screwed. He uses Mirror, and he defended every time. Rico literally threw. Like, he actually just threw and let this man win and get the final castle. It was actually insane. Like, I couldn't believe he broke his weapon just to defend every time and let him Aurora him for free. Because that was the only way he was going to win that fight. There was no other way, because his weapon was broken from Strikeout. And I was like, well, I guess you're not winning, huh? And then he just Aurora and got away with it. I was like, wow, I can't believe the AI is so stupid in this game sometimes. Like, unbelievable. Really sad, to be quite honest. And it's a shame, too, because I was catching up and I was like, I could get that castle, but I couldn't. I feel like Mirror is better, as in more healthy balance, not more powerful. Balance is just... Yeah, that's fair. Yeah. Does king making apply to this episode? You mean like house rules? Is that what you're asking, Volt? Like king making for like house rules? I mean, I think it's a problem where like kind of can't enforce it, because you could argue what is and what is. Yeah, that's fine. We can talk about that or dip into that. The thing is, it's kind of hard to like debate what is too much king making, what is, or if it is really, because like I feel like there's just too much variables or stuff with it. Old Deku Darkling. I mean, I don't think that was that bad, personally, in the sense that, like, Deku kind of had nothing better to do. I think it was his best bet to do what he did. But I will say something like, "Oh yeah, give the Overlord crown." Like, yeah, it's pretty cringe. Like, that's fair, you know. Technically, any decision made to slow down the biggest threat could be considered as "quote unquote" king-making, even if it was done with the that's fair. I think the problem is the term has too much broad variables to where you can't really enforce it, and then some people's limits of it is like more tolerable than others. I think that's the main issue here in this case with like the subject of king making, quote unquote. And sometimes people know they're not going to win. Yeah, which makes king make absolutely. King making, so you mean support? Not necessarily. People are more so saying like you basically just throw the game and you just let them kind of win. Like, for example, if you were Darkling and then you died to someone on purpose just to give them the Overlord crown, like actual full throwing, like to the point where you're not even trying, you're just giving the game away. I wouldn't say like supporting another player, like if they're helping you out, like doing a favor, or like it turns into a 2v2 game, stuff like that. But yeah, I think king making just is too broad of a term and too much variables to enforce as a house rule. It's kind of impossible. It's kind of like the going into hell rule at the end of the game. It's kind of in that boat, in my opinion, personally. Like, I think I get why people don't like it, but you can't really enforce it. There's just not a broad term or enough to like say this is too much king making, this is not. 2v2 Dokapon would be so cool. Yeah, it could work. My only problem is like how would we ban Darkling? Because it'd be kind of cringe if like a person could go Darkling in a 2v2. That'd be kind of lame.
2v2 Dokapon. Yeah, that would be pretty cool. I mean, me and Volt do it all the time.
Basically, I was 2v2 Dokapon would be fun. Yeah, it would be fun. Basically, Volt was asking about king making as a house rule, but I said king making can't really be defined or that well, in my opinion. There's too much variables to
it's really hard to define proper king making.
Yeah, there's way too much debate. It's not possible. And some people's tolerance of it is greater than others. So it's like it's not enforceable by any stretch of the imagination, personally. Allowing the crown in a player's hand. Yeah. Yeah. That would be chaotic, for sure. It's like, hey, you want Overlord crown? Here you go. No problem.
Like, some people's definition of king making is not killing the person first whenever you have the chance to. Some people's is, like, giving the people levels. Some of it can be just telling someone they can have the castle if they get the towns in the next continent.
Yeah, there's just way too much debate, or not enough, like...
2v2 is also a really weird thing, because if it's combined net worth, right, then you can absolutely just feed a person in first and just be last. Forcing the other two players to both try, because whatever team gets Darkling can get the castles, guaranteed.
I think, I think... Like, there's the other issue where you can't, if you know you can't win the game and you're just accepting how the game is, but you might better yourself to get second or something. So you might do collusion for stuff like that to get second or something, basically.
That's not quite true. Not necessarily, I agree.
Sounds like king making is only king making when you're... No, not necessarily. Like,
you can make the person in second by saying, I'm going to target the player in first for the rest of the game, kind of thing.
Yeah, you could argue, like, oh, you help second, and then they win, and then the other players argue you king make the person in second, because now they're winning.
King making is very subjective, and it's really hard to get down perfectly, but generally, king making is putting anyone in a winning position without you getting any benefit at all.
Yeah, like, you're not benefiting yourself or getting anything out of it. Like, you're not bettering yourself, or you're not... Or
like, if I kill the person in first place, that's not me king making second, that's me killing first place. I benefit something out of it if I can take something from first place. Like a town, or a castle, or their equipment.
Or items you want, stuff like that, yeah.
Like... it has to be something incredibly specific enough where you're not getting any benefit out of it. Like, love you, Deku, but if I was in first place and you're not chucking field magic at me every chance you get, I would wonder what you're doing.
I think the best example is you go Darkling, and then you just literally let first kill you and give them the over a crown. That's fucking king making.
That is like, absolutely king making.
That's king making. That's not even a debate. If you
I'm talking about in other games, Deku. I'm just teasing. Teasing.
If you go, yeah, like if you're last and you go Darkling, you literally let first kill you and give them crown. Like that's king making. I don't think that's a debate at all. Like that's kind of self-evident. But yeah, king making can never be a house rule. Like no king making because just there's way too many variables in a subjective.
And you can't really enforce like king making too.
No, because some people's definitions of it are different, and there's too many arguments to be made for both sides. And like, what are you gonna do about it? What muddies the waters even further is when people cry king making out of salt because they lost. Yeah, that's actually fair.
Yeah, like for example, actually, I'm sorry, Deku, but this is another good example. And the PF Volt game, right? When Deku used the come here and pulled everyone but the person in first place, that is when single-handedly the game was done. And you can argue that was in a way king-making, but not intentional. But for the players who are obviously very salty because they didn't have a chance to come back, that would feel very strong king-making.
You could ban obvious king-making, like striking with Darkling to get play. Yeah, but I don't think anyone would willingly do that. Like, I don't think anyone would actually want to do that, even if, like, that's fair. It's just, yeah. But yeah. I just king-making is just way too broad of a term in general. It was just an unfortunate situation since I wasn't even the lowest. Yeah, that was pretty sad. Not gonna lie, to watch. That was pretty unfortunate when I saw it. I was like, well, yeah. So that kind of sucks. He didn't get Volt. The one target that was most important to hit. That kind of sucks.
I don't agree with that either. I mean, it's targeting. Targeting can be a form of king making. Like,
no, I don't think that's king making because if you're targeting someone in first, you are probably gaining something out of it.
In first is the thing. That's the key word.
Yeah.
Because if you want to say targeting the person in first, that's fine. But if you're targeting the person in last, like, okay, dick. Not all I can think of.
Yeah. Because if you're targeting a person in first, you're probably benefiting to better your position. Like, if they lose stuff like towns on death or like...
if you target the guy in last... I mean, like, as like, if you're not in first, then like, okay, what's the point?
Whereas hitting one player, no matter what happens, is someone being salty. Yeah, that's fair. Like just playing spiteful, yeah. Mm-hmm. Like the thing is, if you're targeting first, it's for a good reason because you need to slow them down because they have either good utility. They have too much net worth, and then you could get something out of it yourself. Like, you slow down and you take other towns, or you kill them and then they lose towns that you could take for yourself, etc., to better your positioning. Targeting someone out of salt/spite is definitely king-making. Is literally attacking so they don't win. That's fair. Yeah, that's fair.
Well, the thing about what makes king-making is when it deliberately puts someone out of position without putting you in a position.
Like, you're basically doing it to just help them, but you're not furthering...
Making someone not win would imply that you're okay with someone else winning instead of you.
Yeah, and not for a good reason.
Yeah, that's the words that make that important as a distinction.
Yeah. It's not even just... It's not even just Dokapon. Like, we use the term in other games we play, like king-making. Not even just Dokapon. We use
it. God damn it.
I'm dead. But yeah, we use the term like all the time, me and Hero do, in other games we play.
Hero the villain running away in first place? Wow. No matter what I do, I can't escape the slander.
That wasn't really king making. What was Volt? What are you talking about?
We call it the ceasefire and field magic. He's talking about in our game. Would using global...
Depends when you use it, is my
I'm saying specifically when they're fighting the final of Vigo Senior fight.
Calling Hero a villain when I'm here, I'm insulted. Lol. That kind of gives a big advantage to a player who build that doesn't use field magic, if there is one. Are you talking about the red one? Yeah. Are you talking about the one house rule we were talking about with like banning field magic on bosses? Is that what you're talking about? Yeah, I think, and on the question earlier about global assault, it mostly depends. Like if no one's gone into heck yet, or they're on the Clonuses, like sure, that's fine because you have a chance at killing it. But it's like if other people are fighting it and you're Darkling, then yeah, that's kind of is king making because you're just like, hey, whoever kills it just wins. Period. I mean, you wouldn't not use field magic, but someone without a lot of speed and magic can't use. Well, you can still down a boss. Like downing is still very like strong on bosses. You have to keep that in mind. Like downing Overlord Rico or Rico Senior is like very strong in itself, even if you don't like build too much magic or speed. And even when people they do build speed, most of the time on bosses, their hit chance is going to be 20% anyways. Mm-hmm. Your chance is a lot lower. Yeah, that's true.
It's lower, but keep in mind you can buy downs.
Yeah, the problem is even if you don't do magic builds and you do like ninja builds, there's a thing called down. So down's really disgusting.
Well, the point is you build a good character, I think. I understand what you're saying. Like, what was the point in like charging for this or going for that? But I also understand from other people's perspectives where it's all I have is good stats. I don't have towns, I don't have castles, I've just been...
Those are the only way I can win the game, and that's fair. Global Assault would let the person fighting Rico win, wouldn't it? Yeah, but I don't think you should do that. You should only use it, like, say, before they go to it, and you have a chance, but yes.
Yeah.
It can be the only way for a person deep Elastoid, especially. Yeah, that is completely true. I agree with that. That's why I don't have a problem with it. I agree with that for sure.
Because if you ban every outlet for last place to win, you're basically telling last place you have no other option.
Yeah, like no, that's actually like if you're so far in last, and that's the only way you can win the game, then I respect it. I don't have a problem with that. Going for the global assault, kill the final boss to win the game. That's actually fair. It's a way to win, but it feels lame, which is why I wouldn't house ban it.
It's lame, but it happens, and it's definitely fine because there's some situations where, like, for example, you global assault, then you take the Type 7 talents to build yourself a better lead. And if they want to take back continents, they can go do that as well. It makes the game stall out a lot longer, but it's better than telling the person last place charge into Rico Sino final form, even though you can't win.
Yeah. But you could global assault, drop out a Darkling, capture a town on your continent with your castles. You might have enough value to win during the fight. Well, all you have to do is kill the boss, because then you just get all the towns anyways. So it's like, you know, you just win the game, basically. Because if you get all the towns, you're kind of, especially if they're invested in, you just kind of auto win.
Alright, but those Conjure Alls were actually, like, illegal. Like, no one can ever buy Conjure Alls, and that was incredibly lucky from Red Loot.
That was just extremely variable luck in that game.
No one saw that happening.
No, that changed the whole game state. Like, that unbelievable like, I'm pretty sure if you didn't get those, you would have just killed the final boss and let the game end. If you didn't get those, like you would have just been like, yeah, let's just let the game end, and even though no one's gonna win by a lame way, let's just let the game be over. If you didn't get those, because that definitely changed the game state. Those 2 con draws. But yeah. Oh yeah, that's the whole point of the global assault thing, because then you just get all the towns and you kind of just win because that's so many towns. It's like, yeah. Red Loot went crazy that day. Yeah, oh my god, it did. Like 2 conjure alls. I've never seen anything like that.
Dokapon Ring, Dragon Shield.
You got a bunch of crazy stuff from it.
You also had the Nihilist.
Yeah. Got a lot of crazy stuff.
He was stacked.
But yeah, you can't house ban the global assault strategy because it's like, what the fuck else are they gonna do? Especially if you ban the other stuff like casino and buying charm potions. There's nothing left to do basically. So yeah, it's a very fair and valid strategy. Yeah, that's about it. The only problem is
do as an alternative to that is you could do something like local assault the continent that they own the most in, and then take that while they're fighting it.
Or you get enough points and you could come here if you get lucky.
Come here is also an acceptable strategy because they don't get to fight it anymore.
Yeah, you drag them out of hell and then they stop fighting Rico, and then you can go in later. The chance for someone to lose, yeah, that is definitely a gamble for sure. But there are ways you could deal with it, like come here, like I said. If you get lucky on your point spins for Dark Arts, and then you get come here, and then you can pull them out of hell, and then they can't beat the final boss, and you have a chance at doing it.
The game has plenty of ways to stop someone from just running away from the game.
Yeah, especially how big the last dungeon is. It's huge. Like, the second area is just a long straightaway, and it's also just hard to land on. It's also just hard to land on the final boss in general. It was already a gamble. Yeah, exactly. You have nothing to lose. Like that at that point, you literally have nothing to lose, so it's fine.
For the final boss, yeah, and then you turn on balance patch stats.
Oh, if you play balance patch, no. Base game, yes. And if you're not running house rules, where you just pelt him with magic. Yeah, patched Rico with balance patch. No, actually, he's a kind of a pain in the ass. Not gonna lie, he's actually really brutal. But yeah, base game with like field magic on him, yeah, he just dies. He has 9/9 attack and 700 defense, and I cry. Yeah.
He actually just one-shots some final people's builds, and it's like, okay.
Yeah.
Man got a workout routine. Like, I'm pretty sure with Patch Rico, it is almost impossible to beat him up without a magic medicine. Unless you do, like, some afterburn strat where you have revivals, death blocks, but even then...
Patch Rico sounds fun to fight. It's interesting. I personally don't care for it, but some people do like it. You might like the balance patch for Kingdom if you want to try it sometime. It's interesting.
Yeah, a whole episode on that.
Yeah, we did. We talked about balance patches and like what we like to see on a previous episode. Yep. Survive 2-hit from a max attack monk cause Soulfire. Yeah. Like, I think in balance patch Rico, you either need stuff like magic medicine or like a bunch of death blocks and revivals. You need to like stack them. Especially, I'd say probably more death block if you're running like a monk build, because stacks. And because he's scaled when you first fight him, if you pop magic meds and lose the game, becomes nearly unbeatable. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, Overlord Rico on the balance patch is gross, to be honest. Actually disgusting. I personally don't care for it. I know some people do like it, but I just think it's a little overwhelming, personally. It's just like, man.
Yeah, so it becomes a raid boss that everyone needs to beat up, because if no one does, the game doesn't end.
Yep. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Kick his ass.
I haven't played base game in a while, but like in base game, like how many turns would he die in? Like 1 or 2, probably in
Probably
base
2
game.
or 3, actually. 3
Yeah.
if you've had.
I'd recommend if you want to go to Cycle. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, you're right about that one. Base game. If you're playing base game with no house rules, he just fucking dies to like down and shit. Like he's dead. He down him and then you hit him like field magic. Well, I think he's dead, guys. You know. But yeah.
Honestly.
What's up?
I think like the times where you can beat up Patrico quickly, like it's mostly because you have really solid RNG.
Yeah. Yeah, with Kingdom, there are so many options to do a patch Rico since their Angle Choker and Acrobat is unpatched. Well, the Revival's unpatched. Yeah, it's still a 50-50. They actually buff some things, like he has more like the Acrobat has more inventory space, which is
The
nice.
thing though about that is that even if you go in with Acrobat with Revivals and Angel Choker, you're still probably going to be getting like 2 turn, 1 turn, and you're going to be like what, maybe 10-20% of his HP pool. So you're going to have to get lucky pretty often.
Lucky or have backup Revivals or Death
And here's the thing, you can miss. You can miss him several times.
You can also miss, yeah. Unless you're using magic and you YOLO.
If you're using magic, he uses bounce. So, okay.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, Acrobat is not nerfed, though, in Balance Patch. It's still a 50-50.
I still think probably they have the best chance, but that doesn't mean they're going to win.
No, but it's still good, though. It's a good option. Yeah, 3,600. Does Rico is in Balance Patch? Is it always 3,600 HP hero?
Yeah, it's always 3,600. No matter if patched or unpatched.
Yeah, I knew that much for sure. I'm pretty sure a lot of final bosses in Dokapon always have the same HP, I believe. I've noticed that a lot from looking at other games. Mm-hmm. But yeah. I'm trying to think if there's any other like big house rules I may have forgotten that we didn't mention at this point. I'll keep that in mind. This summer is going to be fun when I try to play patch. Yeah, you can try it. I think it helps the game a little bit. I enjoy parts of it. Like,
oh shit, popcorn time.
There is some nice things in it. Like they buffed Chakra for Spell Sword. Like Spell Sword is nice.
I think Spell Sword's still in a weak, but an alright
better. Position. It's an alright choice. Magic is also better.
Because Pierce got buffed. Chakra can stack.
Chakra's nice. Yeah, Chakra's cool.
And considering the fact that now people are probably doing more classes than normal, doing something like magic, either magician, warrior, cleric, then a spell sword is viable, in my opinion.
Also, Mguard DX was nerfed in the balance patch. It only blocks 70. Right? It's 70, right? Instead of 90.
Well, Deku, you did,
Spell Sword is horrible in base game. Yeah. Mm-hmm. I wish it was better. It's a cool class. I don't know about House Rule, but I'm playing Dokapon Kingdom IRL. We almost always played with a general courtesy of not messing with players when it doesn't help you directly. I think that's fair. That's understandable.
I think the frowned upon Darkling farming. Man, Deku started talking shit, and now all of a sudden we're both bringing up Darkling farming.
I've only played Kingdom casually, but Spell Sword doesn't seem that bad.
Oh.
Spell Sword's problem is it's in this awkward position where it has an identity crisis and it's not sure what it's supposed to be, like a build. Like it's mechanically interesting. Its passive is nice.
I actually disagree with you. I think it's not awkward at all. I think if you know what you're doing, it's just a really hard to understand.
I think the problem is just that stat spread though.
Because you got man, you want to know a good way of thinking about spell sword? Think of spell sword like playing Vent in DX.
I guess and
it becomes a lot better.
Do you pump what speed? I guess.
Yep.
You just pump speed, I guess. Yeah.
You pump speed, get magic passively, and you're fine. You'll do great.
I will say the passive is very nice on spell sword.
I mean,
it's what I did with spell sword. Yeah. How well is Hero and patch Dokapon? Technically better because there's one patch that some people don't like using, but it's a patch where you only need the item to get the class. Not everyone likes using it.
The problem is with spell sword in the new patch is that I don't know what Taco was smoking, but he gave its mastery being +1 in all stats, and they get +2 in all stats on level. So
for Hero, yeah.
So many good points.
Didn't spell sword get an attack and magic mastery? With the patch, Hero.
Spell sword got what?
Attack and magic mastery.
Attack and magic. That's correct.
That's pretty cool. I like that.
Yeah,
that's a bit much. Yeah, I agree. That's a little too much. I agree.
That's why I think generally the mastery stats one, even if I wanted to see it, I'm not turning it on, just because it's not scaled well.
Cleric with HP Hero.
Cleric with HP mastery. Poggers.
Kind of gross, honestly. That patch sounds horrible. The thing that makes
and the patch that makes it job item only, I have actually disagreed with it because it normally is a struggle to get those classes, and it should kind of feel like a struggle since they're made to be hard to get classes. But also I can understand with some classes like Robo Knight where it's not good enough that you'd want to throw the entire game to get it.
I got Angel Wings in the middle of the game and got screwed with a big bug in Chapter 7. Yikes, that sucks. That's awful.
Yeah.
That's awful, yeah. You know what happened one time in one of my IRL games, Hero?
What happened?
Someone, I think, was it Ultimia going for a Hero? Yeah, and then we got fucking Coliseum. We got dragged out of the cloud.
Oh the Coliseum. My
god. Yep. I was like, well, that sucks.
Well...
And he was upset.
Yeah, you know, there's no time for heaven. You gotta go back to Earth.
And then he's like, I guess I'll do some other class then, because that happened. He's like, well, I'm not playing. I guess I'm not gonna go for Hero, huh? I guess I'm gonna play some other class then. I guess, huh? Thank God events aren't that common in Kingdom, like other Dokkan games. Imagine if it was, and that happened a lot in Kingdom, where Coliseum dragged you out of important things. Also, I had a quick question about events while we're on that topic. If you're in a fight in the when the hairstyle contest happens, you don't get dragged out, right? If you're in combat, I believe. If you're
in combat, you don't get dragged out of the hairstyle contest in the Coliseum. Both just don't happen.
Yeah. That's really weird how they don't drag you if you're in combat, though. I find that very odd, though, in my opinion. I get the idea, but it just screws other people over more. It's kind of silly, if you ask me. Especially, people in the sky trying to get the... This doesn't make any sense to me, personally. I don't get it.
Oh, on an unrelated note that I just found interesting. Did you know that Parsec actually made a section for echo cancellation being targeted to specific audio?
Nice.
So that I think for once and for all, we actually figured out the whole... Let me ask again, doesn't the Coliseum have a bunch of conditions that make it rare? Yes, so the conditions are as follows. Everyone has to be not busy in a current fight, or dead, or, so basically, everyone has to just be alive and uninhibited by anything.
In combat, not death, waiting on coming back alive. Reaper death might slow this down.
Funnily enough, it does carry over status conditions, so if you were, asleep, you will just get beat up while you're asleep.
The only thing Coliseum has going for it is you keep your items, revivals.
Yeah, you keep your revivals that you use in the Coliseum fight. which is nice.
That'd be awful if you lost items. Like, you didn't keep it after the Coliseum fight was over. That'd be terrible.
Yes, because Camacho is busted.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, mm-hmm. He's, like, broken. Yeah, he really is. Also, that's also in the balance patch. I'm pretty sure they actually made it reasonable in the balance patch.
Yes, they made it reasonable.
That's cool.
Camacho is designed to be a raid boss.
Yep. Mm-hmm. Yeah, but most people, yeah, it's a problem. If they're not, like, helping stacking buffs, then it's like, well, I guess we all lose.
Mm-hmm.
Having Acrobat or lots of blocks, or both is, yeah, like death blocks, yeah. Mm-hmm. In base game, Coliseum is more of a final boss than the actual final boss. Yes, I agree. Absolutely. In base game, for sure. Definitely.
Spitting facts.
Spitting facts, yeah, you are. Mm-hmm. Yeah, base
I will
game.
Say this much.
Yeah.
The Coliseum in other games is a lot scarier than, like, I don't know, the Wallaces. Jesus.
Mm-hmm. Coliseum and World. Oh my god. That game, Jesus, of, like, broken classes and the actual, like, super raid.
Two necromancers have a fight. Guess who wins? The dancer.
Yeah, remember when I know it's off topic. Remember when I was Necromancer in our Coliseum fight, and I got, like, the worst dark arts rolls ever with Necromancer? That was so stupid. Like, that's the worst I've ever seen Necromancer done.
Well, you see, Camacho doesn't fight Rico Sr. because he's too busy fighting in the underground ring that Green Jr. created.
Yeah, he's too busy fighting for Green Jr. Mm-hmm.
I like how also every time the Coliseum event happens, if you guys win, he's like, I should go hire someone else. But then the Coliseum will happen. It'll happen again. It will still be Camacho.
Yeah, that'd be interesting. If there was more bosses like in the Coliseum.
You fight Wallace.
Wallace with Virus. Green Jr. is the strongest Dokapon royalty in the world.
Now guess who his father is? Hires the hairstylist. Carly would kick someone's ass. Like, do you see her? Her scissors would probably beat your ass. She has the ability to create hair where there is no hair.
Mm-hmm.
Kira, boss. Like, it's a Cooking Mama variant game. It's called Cutting Mama, and it's just Carly cutting people's hair. Oh my god.
That'd be a fun spin-off game. I'd play it. Carly's spin-off game win, I know, right?
Was the Coliseum was guaranteed to happen at a set time?
No. I actually
wouldn't mind that.
That'd be okay, yeah.
I wouldn't mind if it was like every 10 weeks it was like told in advance it's Coliseum fight so that people wouldn't do
prepare.
Things. Yes,
Kira was the traveling. Yeah, yes.
You monster. Yeah, that's the correct response.
Hmm. I found it odd though. Here you couldn't rob the merchants in the other Dokapon games. I found that odd, honestly.
Yeah, it's only in Dokapon Kingdom you can rob the traveling.
You can't rob Monopoly Man in the world for some reason. I don't get it. I don't know why, but you can't rob Monopoly Man in the world. I don't get it. So weird.
It's probably because he's too goated.
Is Monopoly Man too goated to be robbed? I guess so, huh? But her loot is.
If you try to rob him, he sends you to Boardwalk.
Mm-hmm. You monster. Sounds like a you problem. I'm dead.
If you want really good loot, just go rob a weapons store. Hopefully no one... go rob an item store.
Mm-hmm.
That'd be interesting, actually. The reward is the world spinner. Oh my god. Could you imagine if there was key items like there were in like DX key items in Kingdom?
Mm-hmm.
Oh my god. Imagine the top hat or the wings. Oh my
god. No. Oh my god.
In Kingdom that'd be
Imagine the money spinner from World and Kingdom.
Oh my god.
That would be disgusting. You would move across the whole board like insanely fast.
For context, there's an item in other Dokapon games where if you pay money, you can use a spinner without having that spinner, and it's basically an unlimited use item.
As long as you have the money, you're allowed to use it as much.
I
as
think
you
like
want.
a 3 spinner is like $10,000, a 4 spinner is 25, and the 5 spinner is like 120.
3 is 10 or 20k. 4 is 50 or 60k, and then 5 spinners 100 or 120.
Like that sounds like a lot of money, but consider the fact that that item never gets used when you use it that way. You can have infinite 5 spinners as long as you have the money to go.
It's end game, so you're gonna have money to use.
So you'd have like 3 revivals, a magic medicine, that spinner, and you just are fine. You just use $2 million to get to Rico Senior.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that would be gross.
That is some green light go shit.
Mm-hmm.
Well, Green Jr. is indeed the richest child in the world.
Mm.
Actually, we don't know how old Green Jr. is, to be honest. Like, I like to assume he's young, but then again, it's kind of hard.
Mm-hmm.
A net positive average, because he's the richest man in the world. He wants to show you how rich
he
is by how much money he gets.
He doesn't care if the house isn't rigged in his favor. Who cares?
Who cares? He can give out money and still be rich.
Exactly. Yeah. Who cares? That's, I think, the point, in my opinion.
The point is that he's a billionaire in the medieval times. It's not hard for some of them. Like, Rico Sr. is definitely not GB. There's also, like, some more obvious facial features that give it away. But Green Jr. doesn't really have those. Like, he's made to look really short, and there's way bigger men around him for the descriptions.
Yeah.
You know, I used to think Hans was really tall until I saw the cursed images. I can never look at them again.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm glad, though, that it's not common in Kingdom, because if it was, that would be awful. Coliseum. Like, just people getting dragged out all the time.
Food battle.
At least, yeah, but you don't get dragged out, though, for those.
No, you never get dragged out for any of those things.
Thank God. Oh my God, if it did, be awful.
Imagine everyone had to go back to Chapter 1 every time an event happened in Dokapon in the world.
No, that'd be awful. No, don't. That sounds like an awful idea. No. It'd be terrible.
Survival.
Not 30.
Pay.
Casino games. Yay. Woo! Casino games.
I was say this. The casino is kind of good in Kingdom, but I'm just glad it's not like other Dokapon games casinos.
Yeah. Is it sad to say Kingdom probably did casino the best? That's not saying much, but
yeah,
you know.
It did it in the most balanced way possible. It's just slots, and it's just money. Throw money at it and see what happens.
I don't know if Green is a gooder character than the Blacksmith. Are you talking about Guts?
I mean, no. Guts is kind of a piece of shit in this game. Not gonna lie.
Guts is more based in the world, in my opinion. He's actually based in the world.
Guts in the world is like your best friend. Like, he's there no matter what you need. He's like, you're in debt, no problem. I'll still.
He'll literally give you free upgrades if you're poor. I feel like the Kingdom Casino is most boring. That's fair.
I'll give you that.
Yeah,
it's the most boring.
It is boring. Oh, it is definitely the most boring.
It's the least casino where you're like, oh,
yeah.
I lost the game because of this.
It may be more balanced, but slots, yeah, that is boring.
Because, man, I sure love forced casino games where, if I'm in first place, I lose $3 million on cash.
I'll give you that, Mystic. Like, the casino events in World are way more crazier and chaotic. Like, they definitely changed the game more.
I'd also argue that in DX, the casino games are literally just, there's multiple options, but there's only one good one.
Yeah, high or low, obviously.
Because the other two are, like, too RNG filled, and the reward drops aren't that great.
Well, the middle one's not RNG, but the problem is you don't get money, you only get items, so it's not worth it.
It's really difficult if you want to actually get good shit, though. Is the problem.
Yeah, I know. I need to play Dokapon the World. I like Dokapon the World. It's just some people. It's mostly like a language barrier thing, or they're not sure about things. But hey, if you ever want to play it, I like playing it. And there's definitely things I can guide on the game if people want to play it. It's a great game, in my opinion. I have fun with it.
Oh, that was your mic. I'm tripping.
Yeah, that was my Discord. Don't worry.
I was like, whoa.
No translation patch yet.
You see, when you figure out how to... there's no nice way of saying this, but PS2 compression is really, really strong.
Yeah, it's like even if I wanted to translate it, it's not happening anytime soon because it's
the problem is that you'd have to basically write new text to put over it, and normally that's not a big deal in a translation. The problem is that it's PS2 source code we're talking about here.
Okay, it's not only that, but I want to mention Dokapon the World is the longest Dokapon game by a long shot. There is so much unique dialogue in that game. There is so much
text you'd have to translate.
Oh my god, there's so much text. There's like, the story is long, the side stuff is long, there's so many items, like, oh my god. I don't care if it's not translated.
Even the basic UI, like, it would take a while. But yeah, if you want to play it despite that, go for it, man. I would say that even if it's untranslated, the Japanese is fairly simplistic.
Honestly, the Japanese in the world is definitely better than the other game, like Dokapon games. And honestly, I think Dokapon the World has the best UI to combat like the language barrier, in my opinion. It has great
DX UI. Is confusing as all hell.
DX's UI. Yeah, DX's UI is weird. I love Dokapon the World's UI though. It is so clean. Yeah, but if you have people that know Japanese, you can do that. Like, I'm decent at it. I've been practicing, getting better. I play the game as well. I like it. I do wiki editing for it as well. So yeah, I like the game a lot and have a passion for it. So yeah. All you need is a smartphone. Yeah, that works too, technically. But yeah, if you have any questions about Dokapon the World, feel free to ask us in the Discord. I don't mind answering about that.
Google Translate works in a small way, but you have to like fine tune it a bit.
You have to fine tune or understand the words because sometimes it doesn't pick up the context for it.
Yeah, that's the thing. Is that Japanese is a very contextual language, and
it is.
Google Translate is a machine.
Yeah.
Google Translate cannot tell who the sentence is being targeted towards because it doesn't have the context from the last sentence.
Mm-hmm. It's just reading the base thing, but not an actual conversation, basically.
It's like it's common practice. Like, for example, if I was talking about Noman, to not even say Noman's name, like in English, I would say, yeah, that's what he did. But I won't even say he. I'll just say that's what that person did. And translating doesn't like to do that, so it'll just imply something that isn't there, which is the problem. It makes a wrong context. But my summer with a game of Dokapon the World. Well, strap yourself in for a long one. Zawarudo!
Yeah, if you want to play the world, there are people in the Discord that like playing it. Or if you want to play with friends.
Strap in for a long one.
Yeah, it's a long game. I hope you have time to play it, because it is easily the longest Dokapon game, no question.
I will also say this, is that it's also a bit crueler than Kingdom. So don't expect... Don't get too attached to some things.
I hope you like stuff like punishing games, like, I don't know, like Souls games or something. That's all I'm going to say. I hope you like brutal games. That's all. It's fun,
but it's an acquired taste.
It is definitely an acquired taste, yeah. I like it, though, personally. I don't mind how the game is, personally, but it's not for everyone.
I'll hold that one back. I was going to make a crappy Master's Kiss joke.
Oh my god. Save it for the Discord, please. Do not use it on the podcast. It's not needed. I have plenty of time? Well, perfect. You have time for the world then. That's awesome. I'm glad to hear that.
Now, if you didn't have time, you can go play Dokapon DX and write a bad Yelp review.
Play it in one day. You could probably play it in one day if you know what you're doing.
This is reminding me I need to play Gaiden.
Yeah. I want to play Ikari no Tekken also, as well. That game interests me a lot. But yeah, I played rhythm games for a living. I've dealt with pain and unfairness. Well, maybe maybe Dokapon the World is right at home for you.
There are a few rhythm games in Dokapon the World.
There is actually, yeah.
There's actually two.
There is rhythm games in through random event actually. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Oh,
maybe the game is perfect and for a rhythm game. Mm-hmm. But yeah, if you want to play it, there are people on the Discord, like I said, that might want to play it. Or if you have questions, feel free to ask.
Also, I want to mention that we have about 2 minutes left.
Yeah, so we probably need to wrap it up first.
All right, time to get the sentimentals in.
But yeah, if there's any last questions people have before we go, feel free to ask now before we end the stream. But and if you don't have time to do it now, like I said, you can always talk on the Discord as well, and we can play games or just talk about whatever. And I noticed there's a lot of first time watchers, and I appreciate you all coming to watch and listen to the podcast. Thank you guys for watching. It means a lot to me.
Hero 14 times until he answers.
Mm-hmm.
The podcast could go as long as you want, but at the end of the day, and there's also no nice to say this, but we got to get content.
Well, we got to get content, and also I have other things I have to take care of on the server as well, so I can't just sit here all day for 6 hours. So yeah,
I'm pretty sure Volt and Yo-Yo are actually just distant cousins. I don't know, just canonical fact.
I mean, I just came here because I have nothing but. Well, that's fair. I'm glad.
Canadian,
I hope you
close
enjoyed
enough.
The podcast. That's fair.
This is hearsay. Well, I create the letter of the law. Anyway, without further ado.
Yep. Well, I guess we're signing off. Thank you all for everyone watching and the new people. If you want to talk more about Dokapon, play it, or anything else, feel free to join the Discord. The link is in our Twitch bio if you want to join it. And we do weekly podcasts here. There'll be another episode, obviously, on Saturday. So I hope you look forward to the next episode, whatever it may be.
In 10 seconds. Don't cry. You know what? See ya, everybody. Bye-bye.
Goodbye.